Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana. And tonight and tomorrow night and the next couple of days, I am here to do live card readings for your tarot card of the year. And what we're going to do in the next few minutes is just talk about the spread that I'm going to be using tonight, the decks that I'm going to be using, as well as how to calculate your card of the year. And why am I starting with strength is another really good question. So we're going to answer all of this. And then I will be logging off and coming back on and doing a separate live stream for each of the tarot cards, just like I did the previous 2 years. And I just want to put into the chat, if you need more information about how to calculate, hopefully this works, how to calculate your card of the year, there is the link to the video that I did last year. And so yeah, so let's just get started with how this is going to play out this year. Hello to Elisa and Tamian. Tamian, I'm so glad you figured out the membership thing, so that's awesome. Kyle, Liz, and Irene, Mystics Haven, Teresa, hello, welcome to you, and Evangelina, Janet. Janet, thank you so much for that lovely comment and sharing your spread last night. I really appreciated that. And I'll be on at 8 p.m. Pacific doing day 2 of Kwanzaa as well tonight. So it's going to be a busy night for me. I'm going to be on and off a lot over the next couple of days. So I'm going to add the other camera. Let's do that. Go to here. And if you want to do the spread for yourself, I'm going to explain it. And this is my card of the year spread that I've used for the last few years. I am going to be using the Sacred Journey of the B deck. And so all I'm going to do is separate the deck into suits. So wands, swords, majors, you get the deal. So the first thing you need to do is to sort your deck. And I'm not going to take the time to do all of this now. I'll do it off camera, but that's kind of step one. So in this particular spread over the next few videos, I will be using a separated deck. And that is something that might not be comfortable for everybody as far as reading. But what that means is that in your reading that I do for your card of the year, you will have one card from every suit. So that's the first part of this procedure. And then I will explain the spread when we get to the first card, which is strength. I'm going to have to sign off a little bit early so I can get this all prepped for the first reading. Now, there's a couple of different ways to calculate your tarot card of the year. And to tell you the honest truth, I have kind of switched the way that I like to do this. And I do calculate both ways because I find that if in any given year, either method of calculation gets you to the same place, it kind of double confirms what your tarot card of the year might be. Okay, so you need a pen and a paper to do this if you've never done this before. So this next coming year is 2022. So write that down on a piece of paper, 2022. And then and you can write this as if you were doing an addition problem, and then write down your month of birth as a number, and then the day of your birth. And then what you want to do is add all of that together, and you're going to get a number, like 2042 or something like that. Okay. So if your birthday was January 1st, if your birthday is January 1st, then you're going to add 2022 plus 1 plus 1, and you will end up with 2024. And so the next step is to reduce that a little bit further. And so 2024 is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. So if you are born on January 1st, your tarot card for 2022 is the 8th arcana. I am starting with strength. This year, I tend to work with number 8 arcana as strength. But if you want to check out my reading for the justice card, because you associate the number 8 with justice, then that is entirely up to you. So if we were to do the same calculation, if your birthday is February 1st, you add 2022 plus 2 plus 1. So you're going to have 2022 plus 3 is 2025, and 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 5 is 9, and your card is going to be the Hermit, which is the second video that I will do. Okay, so this is one of the different ways to do this calculation. Now, if when you add all of this together, your number in reduction is 23 or higher, then you will need to reduce again. So if your number is 23, your card of the year is 5. If you add it all up and you get a 27, your card for the year is 9. Right? Does that make sense? So you need to keep reducing until you get your number. Now, there's a couple of other things that you need to know, and all of this is detailed, I believe, in the description box below the video that I just linked above, which I can also put into a banner for you. But it's easier because the link is up here. Hi, everybody that's coming in. Elisa and Tarot Stash, Gerald, welcome to all of you. So if I go back up here, where did I paste it? I know I pasted it. And Danielle's here. Hello, Danielle. Lovely to see you. Here we go. Okay, so this is the video that I did last year where I did all of the calculations. Now this method of I was going to say, if your number is 22, you do not reduce. Then your card of the year is the Fool. So it's we can't reduce to a 0, so 2022 is the Fool. Okay. Now there is another method which I sometimes subscribe to, and that is to reduce each of the 3 parts. So if your month is, let's say, we get to a double digit, we get to October, it's possible to do the calculation. This is a completely different method to reduce October to 1. And suppose your birthday is October 21st. Then in this other method, you would, and you can try this both ways. So if your birthday is October 21st, you would reduce October to a 1. You would reduce the 21st to a 3. And 2022 is a 6. So then you have 6 plus 3 plus 1 is 10. And one of the kind of interesting things to do is to work with this calculation both ways and to see what the difference is. Sometimes it's exactly the same number, and other times it is a relative number. So say, for example, one of you just shared your card for the year. Who was it? I just saw it in the, here we go. So here's Danielle's. Danielle's is the Hangman, 2022 plus 1 plus 5. So that makes 2028, right? So, sorry, 2022, 23, and 5 is 28. And so 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 8 is 12, right? The Hanged Man. What was I saying? I lost track of my thought. Okay. Sorry, I lost my thought. If anybody can remember what my thought was, I will go back to it. Let's look at Kyle's comment. I was talking about the relative cards. So for example, it is highly possible that, let's go back to Danielle. It's highly possible that if you did the other calculation, you might end up with possibly 3 or 21. If there's a different number with the alternate calculation, it's always related numerologically. Okay, so take some time to figure this out. And the other interesting thing is that going year to year with the calculations, we don't always go in order. So if you have the tower one year, the next year it is likely the star, but it might not be. It depends on the numbers that make up your name. Okay. And it might be kind of interesting to pay attention to both readings, if that makes sense. Pay attention to both readings. And I will be doing a spread that has 4 oracle decks, just like I did last year, and 1 tarot deck. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And it looks like everybody's calculating all great here. Yeah. So this is entirely up to you. And what I suggest is that if this is a practice that you're going to do year to year, um, that you be consistent about the number that you look at. You know, you be consistent. And it's interesting because my card for last year, and I was doing the reduced calculation method, and my card for 2021 was the tower. And I really, really didn't have a big tower year, and so tower is 16. And so the other card is 7. And some years the more subtle or mundane effects of a particular card may speak louder than other years. The other thing I want to say too is that if you do a year ahead spread, one of the things that I like to do is to put my card of the year, usually from a different deck, in the center of the year ahead spread. And then I can look at the relationship. It's really powerful. It's a powerful addition to a lot of readings. You might want to pull this card out of several different decks throughout the year, maybe one deck a month, and have it on your altar. And just to remind yourself, there's a theme, there's an energy around this card, or maybe both of the cards that you get from the different calculations. Yeah. And sorry, Danielle, I'm picking on you here. Danielle, regardless of the calculation, has the same number this year. So this is clearly a hanged man year coming up for Danielle, and we have a lot of nuances with that number. So it's nice when both calculations work out to the same for you. Um, So, Andrew, the first method is without any reduction. So you're going to add 2022 to the month of your birth. If it's July, then that's 7. If you're born on July the 1st, then you're going to add a 1. So 2022 plus 7 plus 1 and 2. So what is that up to? 2040? And then you reduce that further to a 6, if my math is correct. Yeah. That's great. It's wonderful. So support each other through these conversations because um and Tamsin is Hierophant this year. Irene is Hermit and Moon. And so see what you can also do. Why is that not showing up? There we go. No. Sorry, I lost a comment. Oh, here it is. Irene's comment. Another thing to do if you do a lot of journaling with your tarot readings is to look at the relationship, right? So here for Irene, we have 9 is the Hermit and 18 is the Moon. So you can ask yourself how the Hermit informs the Moon, and does the Moon take on a different quality if the Hermit is guiding those teachings? So perhaps the Hermit will take the we'll be the guide, right? Or we'll be the guru who is supporting the moon energy. It's really fascinating, right? And the hermit does have this earthy quality to it, which perhaps makes the journey of the moon a little easier, you know? Elizabeth, let me just go over the second method again. So, Elizabeth, tell us what your month and your day of birth is, and then we'll help you with the calculation. Okay, so we'll help you with that for sure. Evangelina, so I am Temperance and the Hierophant, which makes perfect sense, right? Because 14 reduces to 5. Okay, so let's help out Elizabeth. Elizabeth's birthday is April 13th. So in the second method, the number 13 reduces to 4. So Elizabeth, you would be 4 plus 4 plus 6. So 8 and 6 is 14. Does that make sense? 4 plus 4 plus 6. Yes, Tamsin, that is a beautiful inquiry because we're moving from, and yes, I will talk about that in each of the readings. The energy of the lovers of a 6 year is so powerful. Great, Elizabeth. Glad you got that. Okay. This is a really good question. So, the influence of the year in general, 2022 reducing to a 6, is is always it always influences the energy of the year, or at least we can look at the reading that way. And as you know, there are an infinite number of ways to read the Lover's card. And depending on the surrounding cards that come up in your reading, the energy of the Lovers really asks us to, it's one of those cards that asks us to seek wholeness, to be so comfortable with our strength and our power. It's like the union of the um, Empress. If the Emperor and the Empress card appeared on one card, it would be the Lover's card, right? We're looking at the divine feminine and divine masculine energy seeking wholeness. And what we see on the card is separation. And so we have this conversation of separation versus union, which is very interesting. That was the theme of the Kwanzaa conversation last night. So yes, so I will bring all of that together. Okay, so are we good? I am going to sign off and set up for the first reading, which will be strength. So those of you that are born January 1st or other days that end up with the number 8, your reading is first, and that's coming up next at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. I'll see you soon.